Why are you looking at what's difficult instead of looking at what he's done? I heard that question recently, wise words from our lead pastor's wife, Ray Fletcher, and it gets right to the heart of today's Morning Manna. Welcome to day 3 of our series called In the Day of Trouble. It's the middle of our week, and we're right in the middle of Psalm 77. In the midst of his storm, Asaph said, I will remember the deeds of the Lord. Yes, I will remember your wonders of old. I will ponder all your work and meditate on your mighty deeds. What are the mighty deeds that Asaph is going to recount? Let's read them in verses 13 through 15. Your way, O God, is holy. What God is great like our God? You are the God who works wonders. You have made known your might among the peoples. With your arm you redeemed your people, the children of Jacob and Joseph. He's going to go on in just a moment. He's going to recall the day the Israelites left Egypt. The first 13 chapters of Exodus set up the story and are filled with many miraculous occurrences that led to their deliverance. But Asaph focuses on the climax of their deliverance at the Red Sea, which you can read about in Exodus 14, but we're going to read Asaph's account of that here in verses 16 through 18. He says, When the waters saw you, O God, when the waters saw you, they were afraid. Indeed, the deep trembled. The clouds poured out water. The skies gave forth thunder. Your arrows flashed on every side. The crash of your thunder was in the whirlwind. Your lightnings lighted up the world. The earth trembled and shook. As I read this portion, there are two things that stand out to me. First is that Asaph doesn't just recount God's goodness in his own life. He doesn't limit his expression to his own experience. He draws from what he learned of God's faithfulness to his people. He's in the beginning, we're seeing him begin to shift from himself, where, in the beginning he's talking about his own anguish, where he's at. But now he's turning his heart not just to his own trouble, but to someone much bigger. Second, Asaph reminds us that our God is far greater than anything that comes against us. When you're reading this, it's almost as if he zooms out from telling the story at our eye level and instead tells it from God's perspective. Look at verse 16 again. He says, When the waters saw you, O God, when the waters saw you, they were afraid. If I'm telling this story from my eye level, all I can look up and see is masses of water, an impossible way through. But if I look at the story from God's perspective, which seems to be what Asaph is telling us, when the waters saw God, he is the creator. When the created thing saw their creator, they trembled. Psalm 19:1 reminds us that all creation declares the glory of God. When we could so easily focus on our weakness in the face of seemingly powerful opposition, I believe this psalm invites us to focus on the power, might, and authority of God, our Creator. I'll end today where we began. Where is your gaze? When the storm rages, will you look at what's difficult, or will you fix your gaze on what He's done and in turn begin to reflect on just how mighty He is? I'll see you tomorrow.